Testing, testing, testing. Hi there guys, my name is Rohan Beve, and in today's video we are going to be talking about cognitive bias. Now, in today's video we are going to be talking about what exactly is cognitive bias. So in order to understand what cognitive bias even really is, we first have to understand, why does our brain use bias? Okay? So have you ever, let's say, done something, okay? Like, let's say, you're eating breakfast, right? You don't more or less pay attention on what you're eating, you just eat it, okay? Then you decide to cross the street to go to school, right? Whatever, or to your job, just to any place, right? And you make all these decisions. But if our brain analyzed every decision every day, okay, we would be overwhelmed, okay? We cannot handle all that information, okay? Our brain can't handle it. So our brain takes mental shortcuts called heuristics, okay? Which are basically fast and efficient, okay? And they're, again, fast and efficient, but sometimes they can be inaccurate sometimes, okay? This can lead to cognitive bias, okay? And there are more or less 4 types of cognitive bias. There are 4 types of biases. The first one is confirmation bias, okay? What this basically means is, for example, okay, you're eating a diet. You're going on this diet, okay? And while you're trying to use this diet, okay, let's say you read up on some articles, okay? You read up on some articles to learn more about this diet and how to use it more properly, okay? But you only, remember and pay attention to the articles that praise that specific diet, and just you ignore everything else, okay? You ignore all of the disagreements with this diet, okay? So we only view the information we remember, okay? And just ignore everything that disagrees with it, okay? That's what confirmation bias is. The second type of bias is anchoring bias. What that basically means is the first information we get of the specific subject, we will basically strongly influence our decision. For example, let's say there was a jacket that costed $100, okay? And there was a discount for it for $50. That seems like a very good bargain, even though it's still pretty expensive, okay? That's basically what anchoring bias is, okay? That's basically what it is, okay? The third type of bias is known as availability bias, okay? What that basically means is how common it is than it actually is. For example, you see on the news a car crash happens, or recent car crashes have been happening, maybe due to some safety reasons or whatever, right? And because of that, okay, you feel a bit more anxious whenever you're driving a car, okay, or maybe when you're inside a car, okay? You'll start to feel more anxious. That's basically what availability bias is. And the final type of bias is the bandwagon effect. What that basically means is people do it because everyone else is doing it too. For example, TikTok trends or YouTube trends or just any type of trend is an example of the bandwagon effect, okay? And those are more or less the 4 types of cognitive bias. But why does it matter in the first place? Well, you see, cognitive bias influences many decisions that matter. For example, investing, hiring employees, relationships, politics, everyday purchases, and extra, maybe business decisions as well, okay, and etc. They influence many important stuff. So by understanding what all this bias does, it can help us, analyze it better and make the correct decisions. So how do we reduce cognitive bias? We can't exactly remove it. That's not possible, but we can reduce it. First of all, always take different perspectives to every decision, okay? ask, what could I be missing to yourself, okay? And always rely on facts and data and not on emotions and feelings, okay? And always slow down before making important decisions and etc., okay? And that's basically what cognitive bias is. And, well, that's basically it. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.